So this goes out to those who have ever had a bad haircut experience. I've had at least two that stick out in my mind, and one of them was when I first went natural and I got a trim. I remember getting my hair blow dried and straight and then trimmed, and that came out pretty good, but I realized that once my hair was wet again, it looked a little bit different than when my hair was straight. So I started to do research about diva cuts. Now I wanted to go to Divashan salon, but it was way out of my pocket. So I was trying to find Diva Cut certified hairstylist, and so I found one. And you know how you get your pictures ready and in your mind you're like, okay, this is gonna be great. So I get there and I didn't put any product in my hair. I believe my hair was dry. It was dry because Diva Cut is a dry haircut. Needless to say, it did not turn out the way I expect. If you see some pictures in here, then I got some courage to show you what my hair looked like. It felt like a hatchback, where like the back was bigger and the front was smaller. And now that I think about it, that is the pattern of my hair, to grow a lot in the back, a lot quicker, but the top seems to be a little bit slow with that. And I'm pretty sure it's also because there are different curl patterns. I believe the top is a bit looser than the back. So anyway, got that haircut done and I came home and I felt so frustrated at how much I spent, because it wasn't as much as Divashan, but it was still more than I'm usually used to spending for a trim. And so thankfully I called the woman to see if I could get it redone, and she did redo it for me and I appreciated that. It's still, but then the frustrating part of what happened is she had to bring this down, and you know how they get scissor happy, so I lost a lot of length from that. Because what I'm realizing with my hair with goals, my hair grows. I'll insert some pictures to show you that my hair does get long, but what I started to realize after a certain point, because of the different textures, it would just look weird. Like I started to realize that, what is my goal? Is it length or is it shape? So I realized that shape was more important to me. So I got my hair cut and I kept it that way. It grew some more, and then I realized, especially when I decided I want to go gray and I wanted to start fresh, I did another big chop, and I like that because I started from a fresh base. And when I got the hair, actually before my big chop, I just went to a salon and got my hair nicely shaped up. You guys see that picture in my posts. That was like, oh wow, you know, I thought before I had shape, but that just is, especially with my round face, it helped a lot to like really define my hair and my face. And so I really love that. But even with that one, I decided that the top didn't look right and I wanted to just cut one piece. Needless to say, again, I had to go back and get it redone, and because of that my hair was shorter than I originally wanted it to be, because I want height with my hair, which I am achieving. Like this is going on now day 6 hair, and what I noticed with my hair too is that it gets better as it gets older. So that was one experience. Now recently, you know, I go to my husband's barber and he's amazing, but I will admit with my last haircut I questioned him a little bit, and it wasn't his fault though. I realized that when I get my hair cut, you know, usually when my husband gets his hair cut, he doesn't have any product in his hair. Now my husband's hair texture and my hair texture is different, so that's another thing, you know, really getting to know your hair. I think sometimes when I was going to him a couple of weeks before this last haircut, I would just have him do the perimeter and leave the top so that it can grow, and he would just snip a little bit. But this time around, I told him to take a little bit off the top because I still had some brown curl ends from my last color. and my color was black, but it just started to fade into brown. So I was kind of glad to get rid of those tips. And when my hair was, he picked it out and he trimmed it. He does amazing scissor work with my hair. But you know, when you're sitting in the chair and you're like, okay, he's cutting quite a bit, like how much is he taking off? And then, you know, you pick some more and then take some more off. So what I learned from that experience, when I left the barber, I was like, oh, it looked good. I'll put those pictures in there. But what I realized when I got home and washed my hair, because that's always the seal to find out, my hair just looked all different lengths, and I was just like, I can't believe this. I was so pissed. I was so upset. And then I was like, I'm not gonna go back and all this other stuff, right? So I finally styled my hair. That is really when it should be key, because when your hair is washed, it's still in the process of being molded. So when I put gel in my hair and got it styled, then I was like, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I think. And look at it now. I believe it's been a month since the last haircut, and it's not as bad as I thought. It was lower than I wanted, and like I said, I'm realizing that length, as much as looking at the IG lovely curly beauties, I'm like, oh, I think I want to grow my hair again. But y'all, right now with a toddler, I'm good, because my hair is like a breeze to wash and style and take care of and sleep on and refresh. So right now, convenience is going to win, so that I could look like something. Because when my hair was longer, when I had my son and I would lay down, oh my goodness, my back would get so tangled. I remember one time it got so tangled, I wanted to just go to a salon, and they're like, yeah, but you got to tangle your hair before you come. And I'm like, that defeats the purpose. But I learned from then, I was like, I wanted less in the back and I wanted more height, more hair. So anyway, the last haircut showed me I want to go there with my hair it's styled like this and have him trim around it, because I realized that I have shrinkage at different rates in my hair. Like the front shrinks at a different rate than the middle and then the sides. And so sometimes when I have my hair all picked out, you know, he trims it real well so it's one length, but when it shrinks, I might have some like little lower parts here than the bottom. So I was able to learn from that. And I'm still going to keep him, obviously, because I was like, you know, it wound up coming okay. Sometimes, again, you got to be patient and give it time to see how it'll grow out. And I noticed that with that very first horror haircut I had too, it wasn't my favorite, but as my hair grew in, a hairstylist has a vision of, even right now, what your hair looks like, what it'll look like as it grows in. So sometimes you have to trust them with that too. But I'd love to hear your stories. I know I'm not alone with horror haircut stories, people being too scissor happy and then being frustrated, especially if length is your goal. And then with shape, sometimes you may not be used to having your hair cut short, and you know, you don't want it to look too masculine or anything like that. Love to hear your experiences. Do you get your hair cut when it's straightened? Do you go to a barber if your hair is short? You're about that cut life now. Love to hear from you. And I'm not sure what my goals are yet with how long I want my hair to be, but I do want it to grow as far as like in the back. Because I also know growing a tapered haircut out is not the easiest either. That's all for today. Can't wait to hear about your experiences. Have a great day, y'all.